Have you ever stopped to think about why some individuals pick up new skills effortlessly while others struggle to grasp even one? Is there a hidden formula behind extraordinary intelligence? And more importantly, is it possible that you could become one of those exceptional learners? Leonardo da Vinci, Benjamin Franklin, Marie Curie. What ties these iconic figures together? They didn't settle for excelling in a single area. They achieved mastery across multiple fields, driving innovations that changed the course of history. These were polymaths, people with broad, integrated knowledge across disciplines. But does this kind of brilliance still have a place in the modern world? In a society that urges us to specialize and fit neatly into predefined roles, can the polymath mindset still thrive? From the time we're young, we're asked, what do you want to be when you grow up? As if choosing one direction means abandoning all others. As if we're only allowed one purpose. But what if the truth is more complex than that? We now live in a digital era where any skill or topic is accessible in seconds. It's never been more achievable to become a polymath. Yet ironically, it's also never been harder to stay focused and disciplined long enough to master anything. Here's the reality. Learning isn't some rare gift that only a few are born with. It's a structured process. And if you learn how to tap into that process, you can master any ability you choose. In this video, we're going to explore what it really takes to become a polymath in today's world. We'll dive into mindset, powerful learning methods, how to weave together knowledge from different fields, and how to make technology your strongest asset in this journey. So if you've ever felt disappointed because you started learning something new but couldn't stick with it, this video might just change everything for you. The journey to mastering any skill doesn't begin with a perfect method or technique. It begins with the right frame of mind. How you view learning can determine whether you eventually become an expert or give up halfway through. If you're convinced that talent and intelligence are fixed traits, that some are born with them and others aren't, then you've already put yourself at a disadvantage. Polymaths aren't gifted from birth. They're people who adopt a mindset of continuous growth. They realize that expertise is not something granted. It's something earned and developed over time. And that leads us to one of the core ideas behind the polymath mentality: endless curiosity. The most brilliant thinkers in history didn't wait to be taught. They actively searched, questioned, and followed their instincts to understand how the world works. Take Leonardo da Vinci, for example. He was fascinated by the inner workings of everything around him. His journals are packed with insights on subjects as diverse as anatomy, architecture, painting, physics, and astronomy. To him, disciplines weren't separate. They were connected paths to deeper understanding. But curiosity on its own isn't enough. To truly grow, you need something else: intellectual humility. This simply means recognizing that you don't have all the answers, that there's always more to uncover, and that ignorance isn't failure, it's an opportunity to expand. This ties into a well-known psychological effect called the Dunning-Kruger effect. People who know very little tend to overestimate how much they know. Meanwhile, true experts are often humbled by just how vast and complex knowledge truly is, and that's why they never stop learning. Another vital aspect to grasp is that failure isn't the opposite of success. It's an essential part of the journey. If you aim to truly master anything in life, you must accept that errors and setbacks are inevitable along the way. Take Thomas Edison, for example. Before he successfully invented the light bulb, he encountered thousands of failures. When asked about these attempts, he famously said, "I have not failed. I've merely discovered 10,000 ways that don't work." This reflects the mindset of a polymath. Every mistake moves you forward rather than backward. Moving beyond mental attitude, there's something even more fundamental that can determine your success or failure in learning: your physical health and daily habits. It might seem obvious, but many overlook it. If you're sleeping poorly, eating unhealthily, and constantly distracted throughout the day, how can you expect your brain to operate at its highest capacity? Effective learning demands mental energy and concentration, both of which come from simple yet powerful routines: good nutrition, quality rest, and regular exercise. The Roman philosopher Juvenal captured this perfectly. Mens sana in corpore sano. A sound mind dwells only in a sound body. Trying to absorb knowledge makes little sense if your physiological foundation is weak. Lastly, there's a limiting belief that stops many from becoming polymaths: the thought that I don't have enough time. Time is equal for everyone. What distinguishes a polymath from someone trapped in mediocrity is how they prioritize learning. The secret isn't to find free time, but to integrate learning naturally into your daily routine. Even with a busy schedule, you can learn by listening to podcasts while commuting, reading for 10 minutes before bed, or simply swapping an hour of social media for productive activities. Time is there. You just need to manage it wisely. Adopting the polymath mindset means recognizing that learning is an ongoing journey, that mistakes are part of growth, and that the real difference between a genius and the rest lies in dedication and discipline. Now that you understand the mindset necessary to master any skill, let's discuss the system that separates fast and effective learners from those who spend years struggling without progress. The key is strategy and consistency. It's not about raw talent or a natural gift. It's about how you organize your learning process and, most importantly, how you put that knowledge into practice. First, let go of the misconception that learning is just about absorbing information. Knowing facts isn't the same as truly understanding them, and understanding doesn't equate to applying what you've learned. Many people make the mistake of skimming the surface, consuming large amounts of content without deeply processing or practicing it. You can watch 100 tutorials on how to play guitar, but unless you pick up the instrument and practice regularly, you won't make progress. This leads us to the first fundamental principle of an effective learning system. Active learning means you don't just passively absorb information, you actively engage with it. If you're learning a new language, simply watching lessons isn't enough. You need to write, speak, make mistakes, and then correct them. If you're studying programming, you must write code and test it. The secret lies in practical immersion. That's what separates someone who only reads about swimming from someone who actually jumps into the water. Another frequent error is depending solely on memory. The reality is our brains forget the majority of what we learn within days. There's a concept called the forgetting curve, researched by the German psychologist Hermann Ebbinghaus, showing that without review, we lose roughly 70% of new information within just 24 hours. How can we fix this? Through one of the most powerful learning methods discovered, spaced repetition. Instead of cramming all your review into one session, spread it out over time. This approach strengthens memory retention and makes the knowledge stick longer. Additionally, a highly effective technique is active recall. Rather than rereading the same material repeatedly, try to bring the information to mind without looking at it. Quiz yourself, write summaries from memory, or teach the content to someone else. This process of retrieving knowledge strengthens your memory and deepens comprehension. Yet even with these strategies, one major obstacle can sabotage your progress: inconsistency. This is where a simple but extremely impactful rule comes in: the 1% improvement principle. Instead of attempting to master everything at once and getting overwhelmed, focus on making small daily improvements. Those tiny gains accumulate and lead to remarkable growth over time. Consider this: improving by just 1% every day means you'll be 365 times better after a year. How can you ensure this consistency? By building systems instead of setting vague goals. Many people fail because they say, "I want to learn to play piano," but never design a clear routine to follow. A system might look like, "I will practice for 30 minutes every morning before work." Systems work because they remove the need for constant motivation. You simply follow your routine. Another critical component is managing your time well. The excuse "I don't have time" often boils down to how you prioritize. If you want to learn, it's essential to cut out distractions and schedule your day deliberately. A practical method is time blocking, reserving fixed periods for learning and treating them as firm commitments. Additionally, techniques like Pomodoro, which involves working in 25-minute bursts with short breaks, can boost your productivity and help reinforce what you learn. Still, even with a flawless system, there's a common adversary that can derail your progress: procrastination. Why do we procrastinate? Frequently because starting feels too overwhelming. The key to overcoming this is simple. Begin with something small. If an hour of study feels impossible, start with 5 minutes. If a whole chapter seems daunting, read just one page. Once you take that first step, your brain shifts into action mode, and everything else falls into place naturally. When you build a system grounded in active learning, spaced repetition, consistent effort, and effective time management, mastering any skill becomes a question of patience and time, not chance. Once you have the system in place, a deeper question emerges. How do you transform that knowledge into something genuinely impactful? The key lies in your ability to connect ideas across various disciplines. A true polymath doesn't just accumulate facts from multiple areas. They blend those insights to create something entirely new. Consider history's greatest minds. Leonardo da Vinci, for example, integrated art with anatomy, engineering, mathematics, and philosophy. Benjamin Franklin was not only a scientist, but also a writer, inventor, and diplomat. Marie Curie combined chemistry and physics to pioneer groundbreaking scientific advances. Their secret was not merely learning different subjects, but recognizing the hidden links between distinct fields. Today's society, however, encourages linear thinking. From an early age, we're urged to pick a single specialty and pursue it in isolation. This approach fragments our understanding of reality. True innovation and progress occur when we integrate knowledge and adopt an interdisciplinary mindset. So how can you cultivate this ability? The first step is broadening your scope of interests. Many people make the mistake of sticking to just one discipline while neglecting others. If you work in technology, why not explore philosophy? If you're an artist, why not delve into neuroscience? The reality is that all knowledge is interconnected. You just need to learn how to spot the patterns. Here's where a crucial skill for any polymath comes into play: associative thinking. This means connecting ideas that seem unrelated to generate new insights. Steve Jobs famously said, "Creativity is simply connecting things." He transformed Apple's computer design by applying lessons from calligraphy, which he studied in college. What seemed irrelevant to programming actually became the foundation for modern typography and operating systems. But merely absorbing random information won't cut it. To make these connections happen, You need a way to organize and process what you learn. One of the best methods is a note-taking system that allows you to link concepts across different subjects. Rather than storing isolated facts, you build networks between ideas and uncover patterns that were previously hidden. This turns your learning into a rich, interconnected web of knowledge. Another vital element is the use of metaphors and analogies. Throughout history, great thinkers have employed metaphors to explain complicated concepts because they reveal unexpected relationships. For instance, Einstein used the metaphor of a falling elevator to illustrate the theory of relativity. Renowned authors create entire fictional worlds based on analogies to real life. If you aspire to be a polymath, train yourself to constantly seek parallels and connections across diverse domains of knowledge. One of the most effective ways to enhance this skill is to actively learn from multiple disciplines simultaneously. Rather than focusing on a single subject in isolation, try blending different fields. For instance, if you're studying programming, incorporate some design principles at the same time. If history is your focus, pair it with psychology. This approach pushes your brain to form unexpected links and sparks powerful ideas. What truly speeds up this process is the intentional practice of solving problems by applying knowledge from various areas. Many famous polymaths excelled because they could transfer solutions from one domain to a completely different one. Nikola Tesla, for example, merged electrical engineering with ideas from magnetism and mechanics to invent creations that seemed like science fiction. Richard Feynman, one of the 20th century's most renowned physicists, was well known for using music and art methods to explain concepts in quantum physics. This brings us to an essential point. Becoming a genuine polymath requires creation, not just consumption. Knowledge gains power only when you use it to produce something new. Whether it's writing, drawing, coding, composing music, or building, learning must evolve into active creation. Ultimately, the ability to connect ideas is what distinguishes those who simply gather knowledge from those who genuinely transform the world. There has never been a better time in history to become a polymath. In the past, learning a new skill meant finding a teacher, visiting a library, or spending years experimenting blindly. Now everything you need is just a few clicks away. But here lies a paradox. Despite the vast amount of information available, why do so many people still feel incapable of learning effectively? The answer lies in how we use technology. The internet is not merely an entertainment platform. It's the largest, most comprehensive encyclopedia humanity has ever had. However, the key difference between people who master multiple skills and those who simply consume content is how they engage with this technology. Another important factor is utilizing structured learning platforms. Knowledge has never been more accessible, but it only benefits those who actively apply it. A powerful yet underused technique is learning branching. Instead of wasting time on distractions, this strategy allows you to harness technology's power to accelerate your learning. Still, one of technology's greatest challenges remains. It can either be your strongest ally or your worst enemy. How many times have you opened your phone to look something up, only to find yourself mindlessly scrolling through social media minutes later without realizing how much time has slipped away? The issue isn't a shortage of time. It's the overwhelming number of distractions designed to capture your attention. Real mastery of technology happens when you learn to control it rather than letting it control you. The solution is to craft a deliberate digital environment. This involves using browser extensions that block social media during study sessions, disabling irrelevant notifications, and scheduling dedicated learning times. A modern polymath doesn't just know how to use technology, they know how to filter out what truly matters. Another highly effective approach is leveraging technology to document and share what you're learning. Starting a YouTube channel or simply posting summaries on social media encourages your brain to engage with the material more deeply. The well-known Feynman technique emphasizes that if you can't explain something in simple terms, you haven't truly grasped it. The best way to confirm your understanding is by teaching what you've learned to others. Additionally, one of the most significant transformations in modern education is global collaboration. Learning is no longer a solo endeavor, it has become a collective experience. That said, technology remains just a tool. While it can amplify your ability to learn, it cannot replace the effort you put in. What truly distinguishes a polymath from an average person isn't mere access to information, it's the commitment to apply that knowledge consistently. Now that you possess the mindset, the system, the skill to connect ideas, and technology as your ally, there's only one step left: taking action. Ultimately, what defines a true polymath isn't the volume of knowledge they hold, but how they utilize it. A common misconception about learning is that it's reserved for a select few gifted geniuses. In reality, anyone can master any skill, provided they adopt the right mindset, follow an effective system, integrate knowledge, and use technology wisely. Throughout history, those who think broadly, navigate multiple fields, and recognize patterns where others see disconnected pieces have been favored by the world. Yet today, excessive specialization often stifles creativity, and many restrict themselves to a single discipline out of fear of appearing curious rather than specialized. But history teaches us that the greatest innovators were the ones who refused to be boxed into a single category. Being a polymath doesn't mean knowing everything. It means embracing lifelong learning. It means rejecting easy answers and having the courage to venture into the unknown. It means recognizing that real growth happens outside your comfort zone. If you've made it this far, you're already ahead of 99% of people. Since most don't even attempt it, most quit at the first challenge, the first failure, or the first difficulty. But one thing this video makes clear is that polymaths don't give up. They adapt, persist, and grow. Now the decision is yours. You can close this video and return to your usual routine, or you can take this knowledge and begin mastering something new. Remember, it's not about learning everything all at once. It's about improving just 1% every day. Small daily gains add up over time to produce remarkable results. Thank you very much for watching. Now I'd love to hear from you. What skill have you always wanted to learn but never took the first step toward? Share it in the comments. Who knows? Your response might encourage someone else to get started too. Oh, and before you leave, please like this video, subscribe to the channel, and click the notification bell. That support helps me continue delivering quality content and maybe even help build a new generation of modern polymaths. If you want to keep diving into topics like this, there's a video appearing on the screen now that could completely transform how you view learning. But I only recommend it for those truly committed to evolving. I'll leave it there. See you on the other side.